Hi, I'm Mark Small. This is Civil Discourse Now for August 25th, 2022. Uh, President Biden, he's the President of the United States, announced that there was going to be forgiveness of student loan debt. And I've been saying for about 10 years that needed to be done. Uh, Here's some people are saying, like, well, those people took those loans out knowing what they were going into. Well, unlike prior generations, where we understood as a society that good education is critical to the way this country functions. And I'm not talking about just getting any kind of education or education that's limited to just math with no philosophy involved. I'm talking about a well-educated public. Until the bankers and the financial experts realized they could get a corner on the market on student debt, there wasn't any. One of the first things that Ronald Reagan did as governor of California was take out the notion that college education was tuition was not a worry for students. They went to a public school, the tuition was included in taxes. It wasn't free by any means, but the student didn't have to worry about tuition or debt from that. Now, a greater debt is what the society pays when people aren't educated well enough to perform necessary functions and tasks. So what happened was tuition went up. When tuition went up, well, students had to get money in order to complete college. When I started college at DePauw was the highest tuition in the state of Indiana, highest costs of any school. And my freshman year, I think it was $4,300. That was tuition, room and board, and fees. It's gone up quite a bit since then. When I was a law student at IU School of Law in Indianapolis, I think I paid $65 a credit hour at first, then went up to $85 by the time I graduated, and now it's a couple $100 a credit hour for undergrad. We expect students to go to school to get education because we need people who have knowledge, who have education. We need doctors, we need scientists, we need anthropologists, we need people who are art historians, we need musicians, a lot of things that higher education can provide, and our public is bettered by it. We also need good post-secondary education for things like skilled trades. That's where unions really come in helpfully. But by our having debt placed on students artificially, we frustrate anybody that's wanting to go ahead. Oh yeah, you can go in the military. Military will help you out there, get tuition free that way, get your butt shot off. Of course, we shouldn't have our military in so many places anyway. But we shouldn't have a situation like student loans where they're not dischargeable in bankruptcy, and the people who've been savvy enough to invest in the right political campaigns have had their loan product shopped out there so that they can up what's owed on the student debt over years. And even if somebody's been paying on a regular basis and hasn't missed payments, they can still owe money, even though it's supposed to be paid off. And when you realize that most of that debt is held by the big banks that benefited from the welfare that we shot to them to bail them out in about 2008, then you realize they've made money off that money that we gave them, and they've made quite enough. So if we void what students owe, all the student debt, that means you're going to have a lot of people no longer simply paying to the bankers. They'll be using that money to buy clothes, improve homes, maybe buy a home. Maybe they'll be able to take a vacation. Oh, they shouldn't do that. What, really? Are we living under some Calvinistic dictatorship already? I don't think so. Those are things that people should be able to do, especially if they work their butts off and done what they're supposed to do. Advanced countries in the world don't put their people in horrendous debt simply because people want to get a higher education. Everyone realizes that's as much a part of the infrastructure as highways, streets, sewage systems, all sorts of stuff like that. So I think that the debt forgiveness as it occurred is a good start. We need to do it the rest of the way. And I know experts on education like Betsy DeVos, who was the Secretary of Education under Trump, had a lot to say about that. She went to a Calvinist school. She owns 17 yachts. She can go to hell. Mark Swamp, Civil Discourse Now. Peace, love, happiness, freedom. Take care.